What did it feel to see your name up there on the screen?
Well, it went on a little longer this year, but when you saw the respect our league was getting, you felt really good. Nevada getting in, I was worried about them, on the bubble. Bubble's a hard place to be, and then Utah State got a good seed, San Diego State got a 5 seed, so I knew our league was getting good respect. So just you just never know what you're going to get, or you never know what's going to pop up for you, or where you're going to go, or any of that. So your heart gets pounding, but it's a great feeling. And like I told our team and the fans, and you start out the season in basically August nowadays, and you work for this day. And these guys work and work and work and grind and persist. And, I talked to a buddy of mine, Mark Turgeon, this morning, and he said, I came to that UNLV game and I'm watching you guys. I'm like, this can't be the same team I watched against Charlotte. How much this team has grown and how far we've came in the course of a year. It's really proud of these guys. And so it's a great moment for your program and for this community and for the basketball fans in this community. The at-large bids are hard to get. They're so hard to get. There's 365 teams or whatever, and everybody's battling to try to be in this position to get an at-large, and not many get them. And so we're grateful. We're happy to be playing in the best tournament in the world, in our opinion, and excited to be able to do it. And all the other stuff is just, you say you don't care where you go, but it is nice to be able to go for our fans. Where Sacramento, we can get there, and hopefully our fans can get there in full force. And because it makes for there's nothing like the NCAA tournament.
You mentioned it, but obviously anybody the auto bid's the route to go, but to get an at-large bid, what does that say about your program that somebody wants you to obviously be part of?
No doubt. And this program had never received an at-large bid, and it, like I said, it's one of the hardest things to do. And for us to have 3 of them now, that's a milestone, and it's a thing to be proud of. And it takes so much work on so many levels. Credit to Coach Burns putting together the schedule we did. We knew it was aggressive. We knew it was, and you can't ever plan that stuff as far. You think you can, but some teams end up being better than you thought. Some teams aren't as good as you thought. But when you schedule it, we tried to be really aggressive, and we went to Texas and beat Texas A&M. And I think that feather in our cap got us, put us over the hump as far as our numbers and as far as the respect we got on a national level.
Going back-to-back years as well.
Yeah.
The third time you had to fight quite hard to get back. The last time you guys went, after the second time, you had to fight to get back the third time.
Yeah.
What does it mean to go back-to-back years?
Yeah, especially with how much change. You look, we lost 3 of the best players in the league last year, and, for us to finish second and with a new team, basically, and a team that of the guys, it was a cool story, and a cool story for the guys that we have, and the growth of, like I said, the growth of this team that I talked about from the very start to what we're seeing now, an NCAA tournament team. That's something.
Was the A&M game the game that you thought maybe the team kind of maybe you got what you thought you were going to get through the season or looking for? Or was there another point in the season that you would say maybe was the spot?
The A&M game was a special win, no doubt about it. But I think maybe the way we bounced back in Myrtle and what we did with Colorado, and the way we went on the road at St. Louis, that was an eye-opener, because not many teams win in those kind of environments. And so we got a special group that can handle knows how to win, figures out a way to win. So those 2 games jump out at me for sure. But the A&M game, because of the talent level, where I watched those guys warm up. I had to run back into the locker room and because they were a pretty talented group, and it showed. What they did made it to the SEC title game, and they got second in that league, I believe, and so I think that's when you started to see like, wow, I know we had great character. I knew we had great chemistry, and that's when I went, okay, we've got some talent too. I mean, it's a different kind of talent, looks a little different some ways, but it's talent.
Your college basketball connections run deep. Do you know Chris Collins or?
Not like you said, you come across these guys somewhere somehow, but he's done a great job. I mean, they've gone 2 times and when that program hadn't gone forever. He's built that program in a great league, and what they did this year, because they lost some really good players from last year, and man, their defensive numbers were terrific. They look like one of the best coach teams in the country, and they got great players too. Those guys, what they did was really, really impressive, and like I said, in one of the best leagues in the country.
Going back to back, how much confidence does it give your guys knowing that maybe they can do something
Well,
that hasn't been done?
What's really neat is I thought about this one. All 5 of our starters have played in NCAA tournament games because there's value to that, no doubt. It's called experience, and the first time you go there, there's some looking around. When guys have played in it before, we're still embracing it, enjoying it. It's a great event, but we also know what what you're supposed to be doing, and you know what you have to do, and you know how hard it is and how good your opponents are going to be. All those things that maybe if you haven't been there before, you don't know it. But that's a pretty good stat that all 5 of our starters have played in NCAA tournament games, and substantial minutes they weren't just jumping in.
You kind of touched on it, but you were the 3rd team announced last year.
Yeah.
And you're in the airport, not able to, watching a little laptop, whatever. It didn't work out, the way you guys had wanted. To have the fans here, and
Yeah.
and like you said, I don't know if you were. I mean, obviously you knew you were probably in. I don't know if you were getting a little nervous there after 2 regions were gone because of the Mountain West respect. But what was it like to be in that building with the fans and have it happen?
Yeah, that was the way it should be. And number one, I want to do it for our team that way. And number 2, for our fans, because they're a big part of this. And we don't, it's all connected and everything matters so much is that, if we don't beat San Diego State and if we don't have that crowd we had at San Diego State, then who knows, And so they have a huge part of this, and you can't build a program if you don't have a home court advantage. You can't. And that's what we've built here is this home court advantage that got us through. We're the only undefeated team in the league at home. I mean, that's impressive, and I credit our fans. So it was great to be able to, just have a nice watch party with them and get to celebrate. And it got loud when they called our name, and I think everybody was excited, and players, the fans, and what a special day. And that's what I talked to the team about is like, you got to pause and be grateful and celebrate this, day, because you work a lot goes into getting to this day, and I want them to appreciate it and celebrate it, and that's what our guys did, and that's what hopefully the fans get to do today.
You're all about pushing us forward and growing this thing. You've done a lot of firsts here, but this is the first time you've been able to take this team back to the NCAA tournament. So
True.
What allowed you to do that? What was the single biggest thing that I don't know if it was a change, I don't know if it was support, I don't know what it was, but what was the single biggest thing that allowed you to accomplish this?
It's the character of our players, first of all, but it's also, like you said, it's the commitment of our administration, the things that are getting done that weren't getting done here before that we need it. You have to be an elite program. And and those things matter, the way you travel, the way the way you recruit, all those things that go into building a program, and the way the fan experience, and that's all gotten better and better, and everything's getting better, and you have to be growing as a program, and you got to be aggressive. You got to capitalize when you have chances to grow, and that's where we're at now. So we're not going to sit down and rest, and we're not going to, granted, we celebrate it. We love milestones. We love it, but we're on to the next ones. We got to keep doing that. And it doesn't always happen overnight, and maybe sometimes it doesn't happen as fast as I would like it or fans would like it. But you just keep plugging away, and that's how you have a program. And that's how you have consistency to be able to do it. You look at all the great programs, they didn't get there overnight, and and sometimes, and it's never like okay, direct line. There's going to be bumps in the road. You just keep trying to solve it and get better. And, I've got great administration right now. I got the best staff I've ever had. That they don't get enough credit for what they've done, and the game plans and the grind and the way they coach these guys. They coach the heck out of this team. Maybe one of the best jobs I've seen, because like you said, we scored 12 points in the first half against Charleston, and we had 50 against UNLV. Who's better than Charleston? That's a really good team, and that's the staff and the players getting better and being able to get up after a disappointment or after a great win or after whatever to let's go work again. And that's why we are where we are, because all those things come together. Like I said, the administration, the assistant coaches, and the players, and it's all clicking.
You talked a lot about this year, how good you thought the Mountain West was.
Right.
How rewarding was it to see that?
Yeah.
You thought the same thing.
No doubt. That's what I was just thinking about. I was like, I can't wait to text Coach Alford, and I'm sure he had some sleepless nights. He's an old veteran that knows how that is, and sometimes as an old veteran you can become pessimistic. So I'm sure he was like, and we got the respect that we deserved, on a national level, not just from each other. Hey, you guys are great, because they're great. They're a great team, and they deserve to be in. And that's going to be, for me as a fan, that's going to be a fun one to watch on. Is it Tuesday? Do you know? Yeah, because they play Arizona State. There's some history there, but I'm just so happy for them and Utah State and San Diego State. Because we battle each other as much as you can, and but there's a respect there, and because look what Utah State did at the end of the year. Their backs were against the wall. They won 8 straight. Nevada, man, they were clicking all year, and they had a couple of bad breaks at the end. But that's college. That's basketball. That's hard. You go to Wyoming, you get out of there with a win. It's crazy. But so all those things, in the end, it's great that the Mountain West has grown that much. And again, the Mountain West is still growing. Gloria is going to do some great things here, and we're going to make this about. It's always been a basketball league. We've won 2 national titles, and we usually have top 25 teams, and we would have had number 1 seeds if COVID didn't knock out San Diego State that one year, and on and on and on. But it's growing, it's getting better and better, and it's going to continue to.